Last time I was here, I made it clear that my top committee request as a member of the U.S. Senate will be to get on the Armed Services Committee. I've represented 5 out of Georgia's 8 military installations. I represent Fort Stewart, part of the 3rd Infantry Division, trains at Fort Benning. I'm concerned about the reduction in forces that was announced 10 days ago. As somebody who's represented every branch of the military and gone through several BRACs, I think I would be in the best position to deal with such a reduction and make sure that not only Benning remains vibrant and viable, but that the whole Columbus-Muskogee area will sustain whatever reductions there might be out there. This administration has waived 23 different laws on the implementation of Obamacare. This administration has not consistently enforced all the immigration laws or the marijuana laws, for example. And so I think that what the Speaker is doing with the lawsuit does have serious ramifications, and I think that that's a route that we need to look at. Also, the best way to correct the administration is to take over the U.S. Senate. And that's why I'm running for the U.S. Senate. There's so much of the Nancy Pelosi, Harry Reid agenda that we shut down in the House, but 291 bills have been sent to the Senate that are still sitting on Harry Reid's desk. The best way to turn things around is to send Harry Reid back to minority status in November. I've actually co-authored a bill that said we will implement the same policy for other than Mexico that we do for Mexico, meaning that right now the president has reinterpreted a law that says children who come from countries aside from Mexico and Canada will be treated differently. They can't be deported. We need to have the same policy for Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador that we do for Mexico, and also for Canada. We already have so many hot zones in the world today. If you look at Iraq and the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, that terrorist group has a territory the size of Indiana. Very worried about that. Look at Israel and the Palestinian Authority right now, a very shaky peace at best. Look at Syria, and now you have Crimea, not only with Putin invading that, but with the Ukrainians fighting back. We don't know all the details there are about this, but I worry that this could escalate yet another world conflict. I believe there are a number of things that are holding back jobs in America today. Number one is the regulatory overreach. So whether it's Obamacare or EPA or Dodd-Frank rules on banking, you have issues with unleashing the private sector. And we need to push back not only on the regulatory overreach, but on the regulatory instability, because businesses cannot make decisions when the rules keep changing. Secondly, you need to have an abundant supply of domestic energy. We need to develop North American energy. With horizontal drilling and all the advances in technology today, we can actually be an energy exporting country should we choose to do so. But the reality is all the new production has come from the private lands, not from the public lands that are in fact public lands set aside for oil leasing. We need to open them up, and we need to build the Keystone Pipeline. Number 3, we need to have a tax code that is simple, transparent, and simulates business growth. Americans today spend 6 billion man-hours a year complying with the IRS. The advantage of the fair tax is that it's a simplified tax system, and it's tax neutral. It does not raise your taxes. But what it says is that when you buy a new item, that you would pay a tax on it. But in terms of saving money, you would not pay a tax. In terms of understanding the tax code, you and the person next to you in line would have the exact same tax burden. One of the great problems we have with the current tax code is if somebody has money and they can afford the best accountant, then they're going to pay less than somebody who can't. And what we'd like to have is, with the simplification, is transparency and fairness. And the fair tax moves you in that direction.